Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're here to talk about glowing bronzers. Yes, bronzers with a little tint, a little tinge of a glisten or a luminosity to them. They're actually more and more popular, and we're seeing that especially pronounced with the release of the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer. Now, I know you're thinking, oh wow, Rebecca, we assumed you were skipping that release. Yes, well, if you've been with my channel for any length of time, you'll know that for some reason I am on the caboose of the Pat McGrath train. In fact, this little guy finally got to me. I ordered from Pat McGrath during the VIP sale, and it finally got to me yesterday, and only half my order came. You can imagine my frustration, but I am used to it with Pat McGrath, and generally I take a lot of time really complaining about her shipping and how late it gets to me. I've thought, should I order from Sephora? Should I? So what I figured I would do is give myself a few seconds now to get all of my complaining out and be done with it, because nobody likes a complainer. So here we go.
First of all, I could have ordered off Sephora, and then it actually would have gotten here on time. There's really no point in making a video, and I have to change everything. I can't even do the eyeshadows because that didn't come when we half the order came. They don't even let me know when it's shipped. I order VIP, and I order it first at the beginning of the time, and then it still doesn't come. I could basically order it off Sephora, get the sale price. But one time I did that, returned it to Pat McGrath, and it didn't even give me my money back. And if you think about it, there was actually a train wreck once that delayed it.
Okay, enough is enough. So let's talk about it now. We're going to take a different tack. We're going to take one shade. This is, as you know, the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer. And I have the shade that I'm holding right here called Desert Glow, which is kind of a tanned bronze shade. It has a sparkling golden pearl in it. Now, interestingly enough, just in case you didn't know, there are 5 shades of this available at Sephora during this current Sephora sale, but 8 shades in total. They didn't give all 8 shades to the Sephora, so you got to look online, you got to look in some of the stores. It's becoming a hot little ticket. I have linked it below at both Sephora, if you can still get the shade you want there, but also at Pat McGrath, which has all 8 of the shades. The thing that made me interested in comparing this to other glowing bronzers is the fact that Pat McGrath says this has sparkling golden pearls. It's got a bit of a radiance or a luminosity, as a lot of bronzers do. We have definitely good matte bronzers out there. Most of our favorite bronzers are matte, and in fact bronzers that may go a little cooler that we tend to use instead for contour are definitely matte and slightly grayish and cooler. But these warmer, more glistening, brighter shades, I thought we'd look at a few of them and compare them. Okay, I do want to try this on though, because it is a new product, kind of. See, back to my sped up complaint there. But I wanted to show you this one, but I really want to take most of our time to compare the luminosity here. Here is the shade, if you were curious. This shade is not on Sephora. I actually got one, even though it took forever, from Pat McGrath. This is, I think I got a good one. This is Desert Glow. Again, a tanned bronze with a little bit of sparkling golden pearl. And I have been hearing from people that these are tough to see on the skin, so I hope I did a good job. But I also want to compare it. So we are going to try this on. I'm not wearing any bronzer right now, but I want to show you this on my arm in 2 different lightings. Here's what we're going to compare it to. We're going to compare it to the Huda Glowish bronzer. Do you remember this one? I have mine in 01 Light, so I did quite a few swatches on this one. I probably should have bought this one in a darker shade when I got it, but I do a few swatches so you can see it. And then we move in on the swatches you're going to see on my arm to some really glowing ones. I picked up the Fenty Toasted Swirl. This is the chocolate swirl shade. I don't think this is available anymore. I actually kind of liked this product, this Fenty Toasted Swirl. It's gone mostly. It kind of went on sale and then left. I actually kind of like it. I'm guilty of enjoying a luminous bronzer. I brought over the new MAC. MAC has 2 bronzers that it has recently released, matte and radiant. This is the radiant in medium, and you're going to see that on my arm. And last but not least, the Charlotte Tilbury did a Face Architect highlighter, but she did one in a bronze glow that you can use depending on skin tone as a glowing bronzer. Let's take a look at these on my arm first in studio lighting. Here we go, Pat McGrath all the way over to the left with a little bit of a space. Then we go to the Huda Glowish, the Fenty Toasted Swirl, the MAC Radiant Bronzer, and the Charlotte Tilbury Face Architect in Bronze Glow. And the last three are the most glowy, if you notice. So if you're looking for a glow, it looks like the Huda and the Pat McGrath are the least radiant of the bunch. I just wanted to see how they would compare. And like I said, that Fenty is not available anymore, but you might have it in your collection. And I've linked all the others down below in my description bar. But the way to really see these, and I think it's most impressive, especially with the intense sunlight we have going on today here in Southern California, let's take these out into the warm California sunshine. All the way left is the brand new Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer in Desert Glow, followed by a little space, and then Huda Glowish, Fenty Toasted Swirl, MAC Radiant, and Charlotte Tilbury Bronze Glow. Now, my link below in my description bar takes you to both Sephora and then Pat McGrath, and the shade I got is not available on Sephora. Why there's only 5 shades available at Sephora? Will the other 3 come to Sephora? Because there's 8 shades total. Will they come maybe after the sale? You tell me, and then we will both know, because I have no idea. It is indeed odd. Let's see how I did with my shade selection. I've tried on all these other glowing bronzers in reviews. I've reviewed them all separately. This is the first time I'll be trying this one on. And I have a Niji Pro here, which is a great bronzing brush from Sonia G. Let's see. Okay, now just let me prepare you guys. I am not a contour person, and this is a warm shade. I will be bronzing around the outer area of the face. Look at that. Woo! That is definitely dark and needs to be blended. I went in without caution because, well, first of all, because it's Pat McGrath and she always says that, without caution. But also I had heard you really had to build it up. So going a little darker for me, boy, did that just, let me get that out of the way. Boy, did that just warm up my face. What do you guys think? Too much? Should I go a little lighter on the other side and we should see? Okay, let me just kind of tap that off then. This is a great bronzing brush if you don't have it, especially for the technique I like, which is just to warm the perimeter of the face and even go onto the cheeks a little bit. It just adds a little bit of warmth and sunshine. I do not bother contouring. Now that is a little bit of a lighter application on this side. I actually think this is going to be very useful on me. You know, Makeup Craze over on Instagram always says that in a way I kind of got lucky because I have such neutral skin. I'm able to put a lot of bronzers on. If you have cooler skin or warmer skin, olive skin, if you have really dark complexion, it's tough, you know? So I do admit that I have a light, medium, neutral skin, so I can take well to bronzers, but I didn't have to build this up too much. What if we were to take a Refer number 27, take the same bronzer and put it into the crease of the eye? And I'll tell you why I like that. First of all, it's a really nice no makeup look. I really love that. But also, since this has those golden pearls in it, we have a tad bit of luminosity, but still matte enough that it doesn't interfere with the fact that I have hooded eyelids. And you can really bring the face look together because I've kind of warmed the face almost with this as a bronzer and a little bit as a blush. I can even take another Refer brush and run it under the eye. A really kind of simple, very minimalistic look that's still very put together and pretty. So for me, and I'm going to try more of the Pat McGrath shades, for me, I'm going to give these a good review. I've heard a lot of people say that they're really hard to show up. I didn't have too much trouble, but this shade isn't available on Sephora, which is a bit of a bummer. I think this is a great shade if you're anywhere from light, medium, even fair if you use it gently, all the way to medium. I can even see this working for some deeper skin tones, actually. But you need to report back what shade did you pick up, and what do you think? A little bit of controversy with this, but I think that is a really nice bronzer. Not seeing too much luminosity in it, but Pat McGrath says it's there, so it must be. Compared to very luminous bronzers, not so much. So let me ask you, and I guess really we could have looked at Mario here, couldn't we? When he had his little duo come out. What other bronzers are you interested in that are typically not matte? Which ones do you have? Do you like a little bit of luminosity in your bronzer? Did you purchase one of these Pat McGrath bronzers either from her website or from the Sephora sale? And do you have a complaint to do about your shipping as well? I swear it is just me. And I know no one likes a complainer, so I try to keep it at a minimum, you know, speed it up. But I gotta complain a little bit. My goodness, I ordered that weeks ago. At any rate, I want to hear all your thoughts below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow. Come and say a big hello over on Instagram and TikTok too. And please remember that you can become a bigger part of this channel by giving super thanks or by becoming a member. But in any way that you decide to be here, please know that I'm just super happy to have you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.